It's all well and good to argue over whether he's the 9th or the 11th or the 13th best quarterback in the NFL. But when he's changing his Twitter picture to I need money, you know, the grills as he did, now it feels, Diana Rossini, my insider extraordinaire, as though we have crossed something of a Rubicon in the Lamar Jackson contract dispute. Where do we stand as of right now?
Well, first of all, this list is getting a lot of buzz around the league. A lot of coaches, GMs I've been talking to are all kind of questioning some of these answers that were received. A lot of them agree with some of this, but Lamar Jackson not being in this is certainly a headline here because he is a type of player that every defensive coordinator in the league does not want to face because he is so dynamic. So in terms of where we stand with him being a Baltimore Raven right now, they are having conversations, and the last I spoke with a source in Baltimore is they feel good that this will be completed by the start of training camp. So we're talking about over the next few days, few weeks here. So this should be able to get done. They feel good about it.
Okay, so again, he changes the Twitter picture. Lewis, there's no way to ignore that. And many people, you just heard Ryan Clark say, like, he's the whole team, he's the whole system, there shouldn't be any questions asked here. Is it as simple as that?
Look, I think in Lamar's situation here in particular, which is really the only one that matters, you know, it doesn't really matter how he compares to other quarterbacks from a statistical standpoint and all the different advanced metrics. In this particular situation, what he means to this football team, which is this, 76% of the games that he starts, they win. They average 29 points a game when he starts. That says enough right there in terms of his importance to this franchise and why he probably right now feels as though he is deserving of a contract that is of the upper echelon in terms of contracts, which right now, obviously, Deshaun Watson's contract is the standard. When we're talking about $220, $230 million plus fully guaranteed, when you talk about his importance and when he looks at his importance to this franchise, which has been built totally around his skill set, around his personality, the offense has been generated around his skill set, around what he does the best, you can see why he is probably sitting there going, look, I need to get paid. I need my money. And why Ryan Clark is saying the kind of things that he's saying and why some people feel as though he deserves to be in the top 10 when you're talking about, you know, this kind of survey. And I'm not going to disagree with it in that respect. It's not really, you know, Lamar is such a unique unicorn type of quarterback, Greeny, that I don't think you can necessarily compare him to the other quarterbacks using standard metrics in terms of what he really means when you're talking about what he means to this organization. That's why this contract negotiation is so unique, and that's why I feel as though we're in uncharted territory with him right now, but he does deserve to get paid, and he deserves to get paid handsomely.
Yeah, I love the way RC put it. He's not a system quarterback. He is the system. Canty, how do you see it?
Yeah, I'm the same way. What Lewis just said about advanced analytics and not being able to compare Lamar to other quarterbacks in that way is why I can understand how people have Dak Prescott at number 10 and not Lamar Jackson on this list. Think about what we're talking about, Greeny. We're talking about a guy that's 25 years old that's got an MVP on his resume and a road win in the playoffs. Dak Prescott ain't done that yet. And so my whole point is this. When you start looking at what Lamar Jackson does, it's clear that he's a force multiplier. And I think that's the biggest point of difference that we're looking for in today's quarterbacks, especially if you're talking about paying a guy $40+ million a year. Because guess what? Some of the guys on the supporting cast, you're ultimately going to end up losing. But what allows you to have sustained success, what allows you to have production on the offensive side of the ball is that guy being able to elevate the talent around him. Look at what the Dallas Cowboys had to do this offseason. They moved on from La'el Collins. They moved on from Amari Cooper. They haven't been able to re-sign some key guys on the defensive side of the ball. All that's a product of paying Dak Prescott $40 million a year. So all I'm saying is when we're comparing these quarterbacks and we're looking at this list, just consider the fact that Dak Prescott is probably going to be under a little more pressure because he doesn't have the same talent base that he did before he got his contract extension.
Diana, go.
I do think Lamar Jackson has done a remarkable job from the business side of this deal. We've all seen this sort of unfold over the last few weeks, and the best insiders in the game can't even get information as to the details of this deal. So credit to the Ravens, credit to Lamar. So when we talk about how he started this conversation about him changing his Twitter banner to the grill, to the teeth, this is the first time we've seen Lamar talk about money, right? And make reference to it. And he may say, hey, this was just me playing. This is me just like having fun. he knows all eyes are on him. So it's certainly a little bit of an interesting layer here to the conversation, knowing how good he has been about just staying mum on the whole thing.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.